And then, all at once, there he was. Monkeybone!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Underrated Podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss the films that we feel are underrated or perhaps underappreciated, or even the ones that just slipped under the radar that have passed most people by. This show is a collaboration of friends and podcasters comprising of Alan and Fred Torres.
Hey, what up? Shout out to us.
Myself and Sergio.
Hi.
And Derek McDuff.
Got my name in one go. Good job.
And together we are the Undercast Company. So today we are discussing a movie called Monkeybone, a 2001 dark comedy starring Chris Kattan, Whoopi Goldberg, Rose McGowan, Giancarlo Esposito, John Leguizamo, and our personally consensus proclaimed Renaissance man, Brendan Fraser.
He's truly the best.
My boy George of the Jungle himself.
This movie was not received too great and continues to have mixed reviews as of today. But let me say, for a 9-year-old girl, for some reason this movie hit a chord and was rented from the Albertsons video rental department multiple times. Oh, shit. Now, looking back, this might not have been too appropriate for a 9-year-old, but at the end of the day, this crazy, literal, nightmare-fueled movie is, at its core, a pretty great love story. And I still love it today, and therefore recommended it to you all. So, let's discuss what do you guys think?
So, does anyone want to start off, or are we gonna?
No, you can just.
Okay, well, I'm a boy born in a post 9/11 world, and watching this was pretty interesting because what year did you say it was released?
It was 2001, but in February of 2000.
Yeah,
2001.
2001.
So it's basic. I see it.
It seems like it was filmed in the 90s.
Yeah, it has a very 90s
I was
kids
surprised when I saw it was
flavor.
2001. I thought it was like 98 or some shit like that.
It would because it is. I think it was an independent movie that got bought by 20th Century Fox. I think it might have possibly been filmed and written in the 90s, and then it was released in 2001.
Fox made them change a lot of stuff. I don't know if that was in edits or what, but
Well, basically, seeing this movie, you can tell that there's a lot of originality to it. The story and the whole concept of exploring someone's psyche and like some Jim Henson fantasy dream during a coma, and seeing like, you know, Brendan Fraser play this character who's kind of struggling between two different personalities while still trying to fight to come back to his love is very entertaining to watch, especially with your boy Brendan Fraser. But yeah, like I said before, there's just some kind like that. There's like that 90s kids movie flair to it, which I feel like if this movie was made today with like full rated R, seeing Monkeybone like totally sexually assault women, which he does in this movie. You know, like, you know, just
this movie's not woke.
Yeah, full on, just go like full on to it. And then it would have been really good. But, you know, considering that this was very of its time in the way it was made, I can see why it didn't do too well.
Well, I feel like it kind of like grasps like that kind of like era of especially cartoons, and being that Brendan Fraser plays a cartoonist in this movie, and I kind of now looking back at it and knowing like looking at cartoons of the 90s now too, with like, you know, Ren and Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life and somewhat Cat Dog, you kind of get these like senses of innuendos, and it kind of like built on that, and you can kind of see that now looking back at it.
Yeah, that's when it's like behind the scenes. This one, it's up front and like there's nothing behind. It's like, yeah, this is like
but it's building on that cartoon.
Like literally
style.
the DVD case of this, the hole in the middle of the DVD was Monkeybone's butthole. Like this was all out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the movie.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for listening to my
Been
TED
the
Talk.
Underrated Podcast. No. But I really liked this movie. I thought it was fucking weird. I was watching this movie, and it's like so bizarrely like cut and plotted, and I do think a lot of that was like studio interference from Fox, because characters will just come in and they'll be major characters and then they'll just disappear. Like the sister who, like, I was like, oh, what's going to happen with her? Is she like trying to kill Brendan Fraser to get his money? Like, what's going on? No, she just wanted to kill him once and then just disappeared and never really showed up in the movie.
Yeah, like they made a death pact.
Yeah,
I guess because like
Well, yeah,
it's
I
kind of
mean,
like
they explain
insinuated.
it.
I explained it, but it's just so like it's like, okay, her part is done now, and like she'll never be mentioned again. She's not important. Or like when the cat lady like fucking like killed that guy, I was like, oh, is she gonna get to come back at the end and like do something? Nope, doesn't matter. Her part's done. It was really bizarrely cut, and I think that it's one of those movies. It's kind of like Alien 3, where it's this guy who's a literal genius making the movie. Because if you look at Henry Selick is the guy's name, who's one of my favorite directors. He does most animated movies, claymation movies. This is
Nightmare
the only
Before Christmas.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, and Coraline, which are all fucking classics. All three have at least a 90% in Rotten Tomatoes. This one has a 19, and so that's obviously
They must have just like got it in reverse.
they
Probably just
just fucked it up. Oh, we
just a
heard
tech issue.
19, not one. Oh yeah, but and I think the reason is just a lot of studio interference. I was really excited when we picked this movie because this is something that I vaguely remember from my childhood. My cousin was like weirdly obsessed with this movie. He had like Monkeybone. He was just like you.
I didn't
like,
have merchandise.
Well, he
but
had
I
like
mean,
he had like the merch. He had like the socks and like he had an actual Monkeybone doll. He was like, and it was like all about Monkeybone because he was like one of those like kind of like weird kids who's like watches stuff a little too old for him a little bit. And I had to go whenever I go to a house, I'd be like, oh cool, I'm gonna get to see something at this guy's house that I wouldn't get to see an R-rated movie at my house, But it was like just so bizarre, and I like that it was kind of halfway between the land of the living and dead, and you get to see this style that Henry Selick has for he has for like these very stylized these claymation movies in a live action movie, and it's kind of this merging of these two different styles. And it is a movie where it's just like one of those things where it's just like, this is a movie that's brilliant, but it was clearly like cut a lot by studio interference, and it's just really fucking weird and interesting to watch. Like it's almost kind of like, or I'd compare it to like Venom, which is not like a great movie, but I really like watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say, I think I would compare it more. I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen it. Like, I didn't get a chance to sit and watch the whole movie. I've read a lot about it, and like the things that I saw, I was like, you know what? This sounds like very much like Bizarro kind of style of like humor kind of thing. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen John Dies at the End, or
Yeah.
the movie's okay. John Dies at the End movie's all right. I love the books, but the books are very like that type of like storytelling and humor where like characters are introduced and they just roll the fuck out, and you're like, okay, and it's just part of the way the story is told. Like, that's the bizarre type of it, where like crazy creatures and monsters show up, and like people are like, fuck, okay, I guess that's what we're dealing with. But yeah, I think that's probably why it was probably a little bit ahead of its time too, because nowadays I feel like we see more bizarre shit like
wacky
that.
off the wall
But
shit.
Those,
Wacky, yeah.
I will say that it moved faster than I remembered it as a kid. But
Oh yeah, this is a quick movie. Like it's just like oh, but we got to get through a lot of plot in like an hour and a half, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's breakneck, this movie.
But going to those characters, I felt like even though their time was short in the film, they actually, like, for me, I don't know, because I was impressionable at 9, but not that much. But they, like, I remembered those characters till today. Like, I hadn't watched the movie in like maybe like 15 years. So for me to remember, like, oh, these like characters, even though they only spent like maybe like 3 minutes in the entirety of the movie, was actually it shows that these are played by kind of pretty good actors. Like, I'll go back to like Chris Kattan, but Chris Kattan like was actually really good in this.
It was really funny.
And,
oh yeah,
like,
Chris Kattan was great. I kind of like
I
forgot
liked,
he was in it.
Yeah, it was
until
very
the
refreshing,
end.
like
I was
seeing
oh,
him
yeah.
in this kind of like just straight man kind of like attitude and
the
stuff like
cast,
that.
by the way, is amazing, and it's a lot of people like Bob Odenkirk that are in small
And
roles that are just
Giancarlo
like
Esposito, which is like they went on to do Breaking Bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I forgot he was in this. Like, I was like, oh, but they're in both of them. Both Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul actors are fucking incredible in this movie. Like, the whole cast, it's like all these just great actors, and like a lot of them are unknown like at the time, and they really knock it out of the park. The movie is just so bizarre, and I would recommend it to anybody who wants to just trip out and watch a fucking movie.
Yeah, no, okay, so the way I see it, I mean, I get I didn't even know how it was cut, right? But I think it flows well. And it only flows well in the sense of that they explain to you that this guy had some psychological issues before, and that the doctor was helping him out. So you just kind of have this feeling of like, this guy's a little crazy, a little loony, and that's why this movie just plays out this way. It just kind of goes everywhere. And that way he's in the Monkeybone is the way he is because it's like another part of, I guess you could say, his psychoticness and some of his it's his other half, maybe the other half that he has locked away.
That's why Whoopi Goldberg has to put it back in his head
at the end. But
I'll talk about
it. But I mean, overall, I mean, it works when he goes into the land of the nightmares, and he's in there with everybody else, and it makes sense because they liked him because of all the crazy nightmares that he used to have, all the pictures that he painted and stuff. And oddly enough, if what I want to say is, if you take away all that, all the craziness, all that stuff, if you really focus on this movie, you actually have a beautiful love story between a man who has psychological problems, a doctor that helps him out, and apparently they have a relationship, which is kind of, it doesn't that break the code of ethics, but it's still
Florence Nightingale.
It was after they
code of ethics.
Well, no, I'm saying because he was still a doctor at one point. But anyways, besides the point, you know, he goes into coma, and he struggles to find a way to get back, not to get back to the land of the living to live forever, but just enough to get back to let her know, hey, I want to let you know that I love you and that I wanted to be with you, and here's a ring. And then he accepted his own mortality and saying, hey, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And then he gets a second chance to actually come back. I mean, in there is a really beautiful story, and I think that's why the movie works, because if you're young, you see all these crazy monsters and different things, and the lights and the colors and just all this goofiness, and it works for you on that level. Well, if you're older, because I saw this movie when I was younger, I think I got to have been high school maybe, I think around there, and so maybe freshman, sophomore year, sophomore, junior, somewhere around there. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. But I mean, I saw it younger, so when I was younger, it was for the comedy. You know, there was no real big emotional love story. But now that I'm older and I saw it again after so many years, you really notice that love story. That I'm like, yo, this is actually big. This is good. This is bigger than what I thought originally, and it's in a deeper level. It's a really good movie, and I do recommend it for anybody to watch it.
Yeah, and that goes the same for me. That I'm pretty sure that like as a kid I did enjoy the love story, but I love it even more now, and it especially like showed Brendan Fraser's acting as the Stu character, and also that he could switch over to
he does a great dual role in this.
But as the Stu character, you just feel for him, and I just like, you know, I've always found like Brendan Fraser as very attractive, especially in this movie. But it was a different type of attraction because he's just this man that just wants to say to his true love that he loved her and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful.
He's a very human character, and that's why I like it that Brendan Fraser really pulls it off really well. Not just the dual role thing, but the way it's written. It's very three-dimensional. Like, you see him go through a lot. It's basically like his hell, you know?
Yeah.
So like just seeing him suffer.
Yeah, like when he has to go get the book and then stop the mummy from attacking.
Yeah. You know, that stuff changes a man, and we get to see him how that changes through this movie.
And so talking about like
in real life as well.
Red, you were talking about like how in the movie, you know, they love him in this kind of like land of nightmares because he's got all these nightmares. It reminded me, I'm kind of bummed you didn't see it, Alan, because there was something in this movie like fucking I was gonna be like, Alan's gonna be so hype on this.
Is it the Stephen King?
Yeah,
I knew it.
I was like, it's because I was like, Fred's gonna love the Cat Girl, Alan's gonna love the Stephen King.
No, I beg to differ. Alan will love the Cat Girl.
Okay, it's all. Then you missed out, man. This is your.
No, I know that was kind of my bad.
I thought it was funny that he was stuck there, but Cujo.
Yeah, Cujo was the one. Cujo was his Monkeybone that replaced him.
I remember that.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I was like going through it, kind of reading the synopsis, I was like, Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Stephen King. Well, not him, but like, there's an actor that plays him.
Yeah.
And that Cujo did the same
thing where he
to-
did the body. So if you guys, don't remember or didn't see the movie, Monkeybone steals Brendan Fraser's body in the real world, and the implication is that when Stephen King got in that car accident or whatever, went into coma, Cujo came back and stole his body, and like he's been like the real Stephen King's just been like living in this purgatory
And
nightmare
that he's not
thing.
as crazy as everybody thought.
Yeah, that's why I thought.
Yeah,
that's
and
why
I
it's
think
fucking
that's
great.
also like a critique on Stephen King because
His stuff hasn't been as good since then.
Well, I mean, it's still
No,
good,
it's
but like
crazier.
but-
after
But the
it.
80s was like, top tier Stephen King.
Yeah.
And then after his accident, a lot of people were like, well, he kind of changed. And
Yeah.
Now his stuff isn't
Yeah.
as good. I mean, this stuff is good, but like, yeah, everyone knows, It and Carrie and
Right.
Psalms, all that stuff.
Stand by Me. What's it called?
The Body?
Yeah, and then all those ones that like the Shawshank Redemption. There's like 3 movies that are based on that like novella series or whatever.
Dude.
But
I
we
am excited
digress.
about Dr. Sleep.
The Lawnmower Man.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
we'll speak of Hugh McGregor in another podcast coming up, but I'm excited for Dr. Sleep too.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah. Dr. Sleep's a good book. Really good.
But so Ariel, you because I know you were a little nervous to revisit this because you
So-
always anytime you go back and watch something that you loved as a kid, you're always like, oh, is it gonna hold up?
Yeah. So like I said before, I hadn't watched it in like maybe like 10 to 15 years. And yeah, I was like, even while I was watching, I'm like, oh no. But then like, I still ended up loving it just because like, yeah, like I said before, like Brendan Fraser's character, all these characters were acted really great in it. And it's not that's not as surprising because we kind of like on the download for ourselves, we know that like Brendan Fraser is actually a pretty good actor, and especially now that he's coming back with his Renaissance.
I'm sorry.
He's godlike in Doom Patrol.
Yeah, no. I heard you say pretty good, and I have to.
Really good.
I have to say he's amazing.
He is. Yeah.
He should have won an Oscar, Academy Award,
Okay. Actually,
a Tony. I don't think he's been on Broadway, but he should have won a Tony.
You got to go for that EGOT,
He
Brendan.
got the EGOT.
I think he could sing. Or he could do whatever he wants.
Oh
But
yeah,
anyways,
and I didn't know that was him actually singing. I thought it was as a kid, I thought it was like a track
of what?
with him singing
Brick
Brick
House?
House.
Oh,
But it's him singing. I'm like, oh, he's
Well,
actually kind
That's
of
the
good.
thing. Talking
EGOT.
about why like they think this movie is underrated is because like I said earlier before, but I kind of go into detail. If this movie was done by some like today, rated R, full embody that vision, just goes full sicko mode on the whole thing, just total. Yeah, I mean, you already got a stuffed animal monkey like getting a hashtag Me Too from a cat lady in the coma realm, so that's like, you have the potential there. I would just love to see that just go, and then I think
I think Rose McGowan, she was part of Me Too.
She was the one of the big people.
yeah,
who
she
started it.
was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
do you
she
remember? Well,
She had her head and everything.
oh, she did.
Yeah, she went crazy. I think. I don't know.
So it's just her ears.
Yeah, man. She
Yeah,
was so
it's
hot with Sonya.
But- But yeah. I mean, for me, I still loved it. I was really like I just can't get over that. Chris Kattan was like really, really good, and I loved him. And I remember loving that character too.
I thought it was great when he was
and
living
he
his
acted
best.
like Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he did great as Brendan Fraser. Like he made me believe it. And Brendan Fraser was Monkeybone, and
Oh,
he
the
was Brendan
corpse
Fraser.
gymnast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Dude.
great.
Oh, that
And he
was
had
so
both.
awesome.
It was so weird. I love how just bizarre and unapologetically fucking weird this is. Where a body comes to life, and Bob Odenkirk's like, we just got to get that liver. Like this is my body.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not like, oh, this is like a zombie. It's just like that's mine. I'm gonna go. And it's just like this weird madcap, like fucking like Benny Hill chase. Where like I fucking love it. Like it's so weird, and it doesn't make any apologies for just how fucking like off the wall it is. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah, bro.
That's my organ.
So, any last final words?
Well, this is the, do we, yeah, are we, I guess that's it for the reviews, unless anybody else has anything to say.
No, man, it's just a great movie. I mean,
If
it's so
you're
hard to like
okay
add
with
stuff.
like weird and accepting a weird and just like wanting to go back and watch Brendan
Only
Fraser.
90s kids will remember. I mean, only
Going and watching a Brendan Fraser movie, which I'm hoping, I pitched it to these guys. I'm hoping that we could do it a Renaissance month of underrated movies.
Next year when it reoccurs.
So-
Now it's like, I think it's like, no? Oh wait, next month when it occurs. I think it's like that's like the new Pride Month, right?
Yeah, let's just do a Brendan Sance, which is all of Brendan Fraser's underrated movies because he's an underrated actor.
We'll circle back on that.
I want it.
I have to second that.
Fraser month and scrambled eggs.
Yo, what? Why?
I had to do it.
Oh my.
All right, so let's then ask, why do we think this movie is so underrated? Because it has really bad score on Rotten Tomatoes. It only made $5 million domestically. What made audiences not like this movie?
Hey, bro, don't forget about that extra $2 million. All right,
$2.5 million.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
I just did a quick look on Rotten Tomatoes. If you guys have the full stats, you can drop them.
Yeah.
But why do you think this movie was such a disappointment, both financially and critically?
Because it is out there. It's an out there movie. I mean, like, it's it's a cookie cutter world back then, and for me, like I said, I was very surprised that my parents actually let me watch this movie, as a kid, and kept re-renting it for me, and. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I don't know if it has like a cult following or anything like that, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, but even then, it's just a weird movie, and people are.
Now it does.
This is the reason why.
Rather weird.
Because this movie came after Bedazzled, which was an even better movie. If you guys have not seen it, I also recommend. You know what? For the Renaissance, we're gonna watch
Blast
Bedazzled.
From the Past,
Bedazzle.
Mm-hmm.
And
He became a drug dealer in that movie. He became Scarface.
So here's what I think it is because like I was talking about how this movie is very weirdly paced and very rushed throughout most of it, and like it's really choppy at times. I think people have talked about, like, Rose McGowan went recently and was talking about how, like, it was basically a really great movie and, like, Fox just chopped it up, and you can tell there's a lot of stuff that is missing from this movie.
But there are really
release
good.
the director's cut.
There is
release,
very
hashtag release the Selick cut.
Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut. I mean, yeah. Oops.
3 hours
No,
long.
wait. That's what it is a really good movie. You can see that, like, it still comes through in the movie, but I think it was kind of like, chopped up and not added. It's not as good as it could have been because Fox chopped it up, and this kind of weird pace and everything, and the fact that the movie's so weird is kind of why it turned off audiences, it turned off critics. And if we had gotten to see his full vision, I think that it would be thought of as like a classic movie today, the same way James and the Giant Peach and Nightmare Before Christmas. And by the way, I know everybody's listening is like shouting out right now, oh, but Tim Burton directed Nightmare Before Christmas. No, he fucking didn't. No, he fucking didn't. He just wrote it.
I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Nobody's shouting.
A
Wait,
lot of people.
I thought Tim Burton
I was about
directed
to
it.
ask.
no, he
that.
didn't.
Wait,
Yeah.
Tim Burton had an unattractive wife that was in the Harry Potter
Whoa,
franchise?
whoa, whoa.
Hey, whoa! Don't
Hey.
be talking shit on.
No.
Helena
She was
Bonham
attractive.
Carter.
She was attractive.
Yo,
She was attractive.
I'd smash.
Yeah.
But
I would
yeah,
smash.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
you need to
you
slow
need
your
to
roll.
back yourself.
Back it up. Take that comment
Yeah.
back because that's not true.
Yeah.
Bro, what about that scene where she's playing Hermione Granger and then playing
Oh yeah.
like
You know what? I take that back. I take that back. I saw
Yeah.
Ocean's 8. I saw Ocean's 8.
And not just
You were the only
Edward
one.
Norton
Yeah, I was
hit
the only
that.
one that saw Ocean's 8.
I saw
Hey,
Ocean's 8.
I wanted
Hey.
to see it. I never got onto it.
And not just Edward Norton hit that, but fucking Brad Pitt did too.
Yo, what?
Yeah, Fight Club. She's in Fight Club.
Oh yeah, she got fucked like super hard
Wow.
in 3rd grade or something like that, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like one of our iconic lines.
Jesus.
Oh no!
Anyway.
I haven't gotten fucked that hard since 3rd grade or some shit.
Yeah.
That every time I see her, I always think about that line.
This has been the Helena Bonham Carter podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, like I think that if it was like so remember Henry Selick directed Nightmare, not Tim Burton.
Tom Selleck?
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, but
Tom
and that's
Selleck.
I think that his like his other 3 movies, which are all above 90%, if this one had been his full vision, it would also be this well regarded. And the fact that it's kind of cut up like this, I think, is why it's
I will
fallen a
give
little bit
him-
by the wayside.
I would get. Yeah, I wish it was like now knowing that, and it kind of does, like, looking back at it, you do see that kind of like the cuts and stuff. But there were some pretty like visually like good cuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was
yeah.
some really
Okay, hang
cool
on.
like, visual transitions.
What I want to ask though is, at this point, how many movies did Brendan Fraser do that were like back to back coming out? Could have people gotten just tired of watching his movies? And just
Oh
said,
yeah, and then they were all like kind of iffy.
Well, no, I'm just saying, and I'm not saying everybody, like as a general audience, because they're the ones who got to go watch the movie to make it big, right?
Well, no, the Mummy. This came up between the two Mummy movies.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So he was on fire in Mummy too.
Yeah,
People
but
still
I'm
came
saying,
and saw that shit.
The Mummy 2 was good. You make it sound like it was bad.
No.
I
We're
don't
saying
mean
that,
like
that
it's-
he was relevant.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I know he's relevant, but I mean
people came
compared.
out. I don't mean it's bad. I'm
Well,
saying
no, but I'm saying compared to like maybe like because I don't know how it did, but like let's say like Blast of the Past or Bedazzled or some of those movies.
Those were all good. What
compared
happened
to like no, what I'm saying is like compared. Obviously, the Mummies did really high,
Yeah.
but I'm saying compared to the Mummy on those movies, when you see him come out in the Mummy and you go, damn, the Mummy, but then you see him come out in this movie. I'm just wondering, did people decide to go, well, that doesn't look like my cup of tea. It's not the Mummy. I want to see, Brendan Fraser in what's that one movie?
Honestly,
the one where they steal the National Treasure. I want to see Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser's National Treasure. Holy shit!
but
I love Brendan Fraser, but no one can replace Nick Cage in that movie.
But you get what I'm trying to say. No, but you get
45. They probably have it.
No, Nick Cage in that movie is fucking iconic.
No, but what I'm trying to say is like you know what I mean, like movies like that, like a bigger movie,
that kind of Jerry Bruckheimer, like
exactly.
Midsummer big popcorn blockbuster.
Because you've already seen him in the Mummy and you see what he does.
Yeah.
To go back to a movie like that, which I'm not saying that this is bad. Like this is not even to downgrade it, but. You know what I mean? Saying
the
majority.
B+ summer movies.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking, like, is it because he goes to something like this? Did people go, well, this isn't as big as the Mummy?
Because he does a lot of art movies that people don't ever see.
Exactly, which are really good, and that's why I'm wondering.
Same as Nick Cage.
Are you saying it's because like you think
Vin Diesel took his spot?
He wasn't relevant anymore.
No.
Because if Brendan Fraser could
he
come,
went through a lot of stuff.
No.
This
is at the time. That's what I'm saying. At the time, when the Mummies popped. Did people more want to see him in those?
I appreciate your thesis, but I don't. And you have a point, but I don't think it's right.
Okay, well, I can see where he's coming from because it's like, let's say, you got Captain America, Chris Evans. He's been Captain America, but then in between, he's coming out in a movie. Well, now he's not Captain America anymore, but now he's coming out in a movie, Knives Out. It's like, this isn't Captain America. I'm sad. I don't want to watch this.
He still did like Snowpiercer and shit like that when he was Captain America.
Did people really watch it? Like, I mean, was it as huge as him being Captain America?
Yeah, I can kind of see where he's coming from.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like when Jim Carrey does like Ace Ventura, right? But then he'll go do. Well, no, because Truman Show was pretty good.
No,
but I don't know how it did at the time.
Fucking hype.
No, but I'm saying like what was the other movie?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
which was really fun. I mean,
that's one of my favorite movies.
But I don't think it was as big as his other movies.
Because they were smaller indie movies,
But
like
that's what I'm trying to say.
People who like can appreciate Michel Gondry went out and fucking saw that movie.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who directed Eternal Sunshine.
I don't.
I
really didn't.
Okay,
the movie was good.
He's a really fucking good director.
It was the same thing with it. What was that other movie?
I thought you sneezed.
No, what was the other movie? Like 16 or 23 or?
Oh, that one's a piece of shit.
Whoa! Ow! No, what?
The number 23.
The number 23.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah. What?
Well,
I liked it.
Jim Carrey had gone insane by that point because they had to play Andy Kaufman.
Well, I like that movie. I thought that was.
I love Man on the Moon is another fucking great.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Man on the Moon is incredible. One of my favorite
I was never
movies.
into
that on the list. We might talk about it next podcast.
Yeah. All right.
He was kind of an asshole though.
He was when they were filming. The movie's still good, but like if you watch Milos Forman, who's one of my favorite directors, he's like, oh, like he can't even fucking handle it. Like he's just like, this guy's fucking nuts.
All right.
So far,
we've
all had different reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to share yours? Do you have a reason?
I don't have a reason, but I have a brilliant question for you guys at the end of the show.
Well,
for the audience.
Before we wrap up though.
No, I'm not wrapping up. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I got something. For you.
We always ask, do we see this movie's reputation changing? What do you guys think?
It takes a lot of people to like be known of it and to be accepting of its weirdness.
Yeah, I think it's a no for me.
I think
like people don't know this movie. I
wanted to, and who knows.
You never know.
You never know. Especially with this
It's-
podcast that we're doing now. If everybody listens to us and goes and watches it, then maybe it'll be a 91.
And then now with Brendan Fraser being on Doom Patrol, and he was
People
on
might go back and want to watch his old catalog.
He was on a good was it
As
FX
a joke.
show?
That's the thing, though.
I don't think that people are gonna watch Doom Patrol and be like, oh, you know what, this is great. I want to watch Monkeybone.
Or they might be
Well,
remembered.
no, but they might want to
oh yeah,
I
like
would.
Well, no, because the
Brendan
thing
Fraser,
is,
let me go and look at
exactly.
Brendan
Let me
Fraser
check his
movies.
back catalog.
I'm asking realistically, because like that would be cool if this movie like
Well,
got
no,
more.
no,
I don't think people are
No,
gonna watch it.
I don't think so. But she does have a point that there might be a chance that it might go up a little higher.
Well, it's
but
because
I don't think it's going to be something.
You look
where
at a
you're
lot
gonna
of the
go, it's
things in
gonna
the
be
movie. and this is another reason why I think it's underrated. It's kind of timed. It's kind of dated,
Now
and its execution, because a lot of it is like of that time.
Yeah, but
you know,
what
that style.
I want to
That's
know
another
is
reason
this,
why it could be underrated is because it was marketed towards a lot of kids, and a lot of kids.
Yeah, no, but I want to know is does it have a cult following? Because a lot of kids did watch it, and do they now when you know?
And it's not
probably but are those but. That's like kind of based, you know, like they watched it as kids, so they already kind of like it. So it's not like they're coming back watching it again.
That's how a lot of cult movies happen sometimes.
Yeah,
you end up watching it once, you fall in love with it. And you
cult movies aren't, sometimes cult movies can range from like really like good art movies to like so bad that they're good movies, like The Room or
that I see
Neil Breen movies.
Gaining any population popularity is I just did with Sergio here of it being word of mouth,
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
why I say like,
so
this
I
is a
don't
great
think it will
movie,
be...
but it was made when it was made.
Yeah.
So like, if it was made with,
it's like watching the Forbidden Kingdom with Jet Li and Jackie Chan. Those movies are awesome. It's so good. It's so
I put it on the list
I'm
this
not gonna
past
say
week.
anything.
Why it's so good?
It's like
we can start a fight today.
I said we'll talk about it.
Well, yeah, so I'm usually not the one with like that has the nostalgia from watching it as a kid because I'm the youngest here.
Right.
But it just watching it now, especially when we did, which was like midnight, and totally messed up my like sleep paralysis demons.
I was
seeing
like,
Brendan Fraser in the corner of my room in the dark.
Yeah, you just like you're imagining yourself as a rhubarb being like cut up by a fucking weird ass doctor.
Is that what that was?
Is that what that was?
I thought so.
No, it's like a.
Is he a carrot or
like
what
a
is
radish?
I thought it was a.
It's weird.
Yeah, whatever.
Here's a daikon
He's some kind of vegetable. It doesn't matter like the classification.
It's a delicious bright cranberry. But anyways,
Can I get a spark cranberry?
But yeah, well. I don't know if it's like going to be like because like you look at something like Speed Racer and there's a lot of articles like we missed Speed Racer, it's underrated. I don't see this getting.
But
the
that
same
wasn't like
reputation.
made of its. Speed Racer did have its own style, and it didn't like go by anybody else. It had its own style. This borrowed a lot from like Jim Henson's and the Never Ending Stories.
And Henry Selick's earlier.
Exactly. So yeah, this is. That's why I personally think it's underrated, and that's why I don't think the opinion will change. It's a great movie to watch, and it's a great movie to appreciate. And I think it's if you're wanting to make something, it's great to learn from. And then also, it's like an interesting like exercise,
Retrospective into the mind of a psychotic person.
Yeah, well, not only that, but like you take a story and then you could see like, okay, well, how could you make this work? Not only for today, but to make it for tomorrow, like timeless.
Yeah, like when you make the prequel to Dark Crystal.
Necessarily
it's not timeless.
The story itself is timeless. I really like the story. I really love the story itself. But in the execution, a lot of it, which was really cool to watch and really trippy as well. But it's just like
I'd like to see Selick do another live action, because he's got a very
just like
distinct style.
Just like the music and a lot of that does have to go back to the Fox studio, like. Oh, how do we sell this? Which is funny because ironically,
and like he
didn't work.
Yeah, and he's also like influenced by like we mentioned all these influences. You see a lot of like Ray Harryhausen kind of shit in there. I don't know. I just wanted to throw his name out there because I feel like he was very important in this movie.
Harryhausen.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Hugh Hauser.
California's Gold.
Howard.
Wow, that's amazing.
So okay. So
my dad's gonna love that one.
So what do you guys think, Ariel, Fred? Do you think it's gonna have like a lasting impression? After 20 fucking years after it came out,
people are just gonna be like, "Oh shit, we missed it."
Listen, is this gonna be Labyrinth? No, but is this in its own right, its own movie? Yeah. Here's the thing: if you're a very big fan of Brendan Fraser, then this movie's probably on your list. If you're a big fan of him, that's the thing. So in a way, yes, this movie's still going to be existing in a way. Maybe not getting any higher, but sure enough, not probably getting any lower.
And in the same vein, I would say if you're a Henry Selick fan, because he's only got 4 movies. If you've seen the other 3, you might check this one out because the other 3 are so fucking good. You might be like, okay, he did a live action. Let me check this out.
And then it's really because like I was actually talking to like my coworker yesterday and I brought it up. Oh yeah, we're doing Monkeybone. She's like, I love Monkeybone. So it's kind of like this sleeper kind of like movie that people, even though they watched it a long time ago, they still remember for some reason.
No, because it's just it's a good movie.
So I think people who watch it and like it, they're going to remember it. So it's lasting in that way. It's lasting in its fans.
You were a child when you saw a stuffed monkey fly into a Catwoman's tits.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's what I missed.
It's a never.
Yeah, you
ending
missed Stephen
Shit.
King and Cat Ladies, Alan.
I mean,
You
I remember
really missed
vaguely
out.
the Stephen King, and then I remember the Cat Girl, but I don't remember
This is a
that.
tailor-made movie for you,
Fuck.
man.
And then Whoopi Goldberg's death.
Oh yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's
yeah.
death. It was fucking
It was
great.
just dope.
Yeah. And it was his name. I never can pronounce his name. I'm too white.
Giancarlo
Yeah,
Esposito.
he's
Giancarlo
so
Gianna.
good. That scene where he's at the golf course. And,
Yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking love
The
this movie.
visuals, yeah.
This
If
movie
you
looks
want,
incredible.
if you want to see trippy nightmare like visuals that like are actually very representative of like the classic nightmare trope, it's very good.
Yeah. I would recommend for sure.
Yo, you do a couple mushrooms, take a couple hits of DMT.
You don't even need to.
smoke some weed.
It does
No,
watch
I'm just
more
saying,
than
so
you'll
you could
become
really,
high already.
so you can really immerse yourself. I'm talking about that's like 4D.
Yeah.
Like, you know how you do like the 4D experience where the chair shakes and you feel the wind. Take a couple mushrooms, take a couple hits of acid and shit. Watch this movie, and then you're literally in that movie.
Like theater where like the little things go up your ass.
Yeah, that one.
Oh man, A Bug's Life Theater. Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P. dude. 2001.
Rest in peace, A Bug's Land.
September.
No.
Move over, Bugs Land. Here comes the Avengers.
I mean,
So
okay.
Fuck.
So to end it, you guys have anything else to say about
no,
it?
that's it.
Nah, I think we're
Alright.
right.
Yeah.
Would you guys
Yeah, I
recommend
think
it?
everybody
Yeah.
recommends it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like you don't
recommend
go
it.
in expecting like.
I think if
like,
you don't watch it, you're a loser. So
you gotta watch it expecting the weird shit.
Contribute to the beauty.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
Yes, yes, yes.
think if you're watching,
It's like how I would recommend Venom. Even though it's,
what?
I watched Venom. I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
recommend it for the same reasons as this.
no,
it's just-
no.
I think so
watch
because
them
it's
both
an
because they're
attractive
weird
man.
as shit.
That's true.
In a
Tom
movie.
Hardy is an amazing.
Yeah, good performances, weird as shit movie,
Yeah.
like questionable but enjoyable.
Except the visuals in this.
This is on the level of The Mask. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that. I could see that.
No, it is. It is.
I wouldn't say it's not. It's a little bit weirder. I could see it's in the
It's-
same vein.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you
It's
got
just,
a
it's
point.
just
You got a
obviously The Mask has like, oh, it's The Mask, but I'm just saying it's on the same level of like,
There
if
was
you
only
enjoyed The
one
Mask,
Monkeybone.
you are gonna enjoy Monkeybone.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Well-
good, perfect.
All right then. So we'll
All right.
finish off. I'm gonna ask a question now.
All right.
I've been holding on to this. What do you guys think is better? And this is for the audience as well.
Wow.
You can drop it off. You can leave a comment over on Facebook, Instagram, all that.
Send us
all
an
that
email
stuff.
on
Send us an email.
undercastcompany@gmail.
What do you think would be a bigger? Well, let's hope this podcast goes viral and we bring we bring Monkeybone up.
Right, because every Brendan Fraser fan needs to listen to this podcast, right? They're gonna support us and put us on their back.
Exactly.
Just you wait, Renaissance is coming. Renaissance month is coming.
But here you go.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
What about this? What do you guys think is
All right.
better?
All right.
Oh my god, I'm scared.
Monkeybone
Yes.
or
Mhm.
Cool World?
I've never seen Cool.
What
World.
is-
I
I've
see
never
Cool
seen
World.
Cold World.
All right. Here's the
Oh,
thing. Here's the
God.
thing. Here's the thing. Each one is a little different, but
Ariel,
But
you're looking at me like
the
you don't know
chick
what
in
it is.
Cool World, even though she was a cartoon, was hot. Hot as
the
fuck,
reason I
dog.
brought it up.
Hot
That
as
was like
fuck.
it reminds me of like Cool World.
Yeah, but you know what? I can go on the same vein and be like, who's better, Cool World or Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Because that
but the thing is- but the thing
Jessica
is
Rabbit
they're
was
both
sick.
Very low. No, Jessica Rabbit's got like
Yeah, that's what I'm
she's
saying.
On top of it.
That's
But I'm
what
saying, who's better, Miss Kitty
Uh-huh.
or Kim Basinger?
No, but see, but the problem is,
Hollywood.
the problem is that the kitty's only in for a little bit. It's not.
She was one of my favorite parts of the movie. She was
you're
great.
throwing apples to oranges because in Cool World, she, the chick's in it more. Over here, the cat, you see her like a couple scenes and she's gone. It's almost like a shooting star. It came by, you saw it, you made your wish, and then left.
Star landed in your tits.
Nice. All right.
All right, everybody.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Hit that subscribe button on your podcast app to make sure you are always notified when a new episode of this show comes out, and continue to hear us babble. And please, if you are willing to give us a rating and review, it really helps and lets us know what else you'd like to hear from us, because we can only get better with your help. So once again, we are the Undercast Company, made up of myself and Sergio Ortiz of Nerd Incorporated at Nerd Incorp on Instagram and Twitter. Alan and Fred Torres from District 6
Yo,
What's up?
at District 6 on Instagram, and Derek McDuff, who
On Derek's photos on Instagram,
And I also guest star on his Marvel podcast, Infinity Stones and Dragon Bones, where we're probably the next podcast will be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, it'll probably be out by the time before this one's out.
Yeah, and this current Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season as well.
All that good stuff.
And we'll be back soon with another film, so stay tuned, and thanks for being amazing.
Later.
See you in the life.
Later.